So we started off this episode by getting a diamond chestplate and a diamond axe. And then Apples went to kind of show me what he wanted for the base, so he wanted to spiral up. And I said, okay, that sounds cool. And then boogeymen were being chosen, and we were not the boogeymen. And then we went ahead and looked at Celeste and Antu's base, and it was quite nice. It was actually way nicer than our base, so we got jealous and began building. This isn't a very good look at it, because I never really had a good look at it at all this series. But, you know, you can kind of see what we did. And I moved all of our storage downstairs, and then I saw this water, and there was a lava cast up there. And so we went up there, and Celeste and Antune were up there. But they said they did not make that lava cast, so we hung out with them for a little bit, and then they said that they had like no food, so they gave us some glowberries, and we gave them, or I gave them some carrots. And so me and Apples went back over to our house, and because the session was very short and not a lot happened in it, we just hung out with Celeste, Antune, Siege, and Maggie for the rest of the time, and I will admit, it was actually quite nice. And so we ended off that session right there. So, in session 5, me and Apples were hanging out in our base, talking about our plan for the episode, and so we decided to go ahead and head out, grab ourselves some traps just in case a red name tries to kill us, and we decided to go ahead and figure out exactly what we're going to do. And so we went down to our mines to go ahead and grab some diamonds, also to follow a random path that we did not know was there. And so we were underneath the ground, and we heard Maggie and Siege talking, and so we hid underneath their base because there was a massive cave there to figure out if they're boogeymen, and we were not the boogeymen. But then we heard, yeah, it's us, or something along the lines of that. I don't remember exactly what we heard, but we heard something along the lines of, oh, yeah, we're the boogeymen, because they were talking to the red names. And so after we got out the cave, we were just wandering around, and Maggie and Siege came up to us to talk with us, and they were also trying to get us to stand in this like little square thing for a little while, which I didn't show on camera, but they did, and we did not stand in it. And then I ran through a burning forest because I just happened to find out on my way back. And Apples wanted to make a thing called Skynet. So a Skynet is basically just a massive bridge in the sky, and so he decided to make it while I was just following, just to keep him company. And somebody else started making a lava cast down there, and so they had dogs, and because they're ruining spawn, I shot an arrow at them. Believe me, it was all in self-defense. It was all in self-defense, not because I just kind of felt like it. And then later on in that session, we were wandering around, and then we saw this in the chat. Maggie, Muzzle, and Siege were slain by Sket and Haraga. Now, keep in mind, the only red names at this time are Dice Flame, Haraga, Lunar, and Sket, so only 4 red names, and the fact that it just killed the last green names was kind of huge for us. And so me and Apples kind of hung out there for a little while longer because we came over there to talk with some mates, and then something happened, and the main Neptune got killed by Maggie as well, which we said that we would protect them, but we were kind of far away, and we just saw that they were getting hit, so it was kind of bad. Also, Maggie and Siege were the bookie, as I said, because we heard them, and then they killed me and Neptune. And then Antune and Celeste were killed by Lunar, their own son, and I think that was to turn them red because they wanted to be red. Now, because at this time, there were very few yellow names left, me, Maggie, Siege, and Apples decided to make an alliance, just for some safety for now, just because they're only we were the last 4 yellow names, and we were not going to live very long otherwise. And so, okay. There is something that happened here. We agreed that we would go over to Skynet. We said that we would go over to the bridge, and that the Reds are having a meeting at spawn, and so we were going to snoop on them from above. We waited for Apples and Maggie for a little bit, and then me and Siege got impatient and went down the water to go ahead and snoop on them like how we had just said that we were going to. And I don't know how they didn't see this water coming down, but they didn't. But yeah, we decided to come down and check out what the Reds were doing, and then Lunar came up to the little cobblestone bit, and Lunar didn't say anything for a while until I started backing up, and then they said, all red names, there are the 2 yellow names here on the platform, and me and Siege started legging it, running away so fast. And I placed on a water bucket, and I'm gonna be honest, the Reds may have chased us, but we were able to escape pretty quickly. And I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of scared, but then they didn't follow us. And so we decided to come back just to check if there's anything going on over there. And well, we saw this. we were back at the place where we heard the Reds talking and where we saw them. And then Lunar came up a little bit and just started talking with us. Just casually started talking with us, chatting. And we were like, okay, Lunar wants to just chat. They're not going to attack because, you know, they're a red name and me and Siege have like full diamond armor and stuff. You know, it's fine. And they even reminded us, you guys cannot attack me until I attack you because it's self-defense. And we both were like, yeah, of course, of course. And then Lunar decides it'd be a good idea to, as they're leaving the conversation, Lava Bucket Siege. And so then me and Siege start chasing them down because there are too many red names at this point and we need to start knocking them down. So the chase began. And Lunar actually made it quite far before I kind of got tired of it and just used an Ender Pearl. and then I kept hitting them, and then they died of fall damage. And that was my first kill of the series. And then we came back over to Apples and Maggie and told them that the red names had been talking about how Apples and Maggie gotta go. That's what me and Siege heard while we were there, and so then we decided to make an alliance. I don't remember what this thing was called. It's called like the Cross or something. This entire episode's like audio is completely wiped, so the fact that I'm still trying to remember is impressive. But yeah, and we made this little table and all four of us agreed to be alliances even if we turned red. And so yeah, it was a beautiful friendship. And right before that session ended, we wanted to come back over to my and Apples' base just to go and check if, you know, if we have anything, since, you know, next session's probably gonna be the last one. And we saw this. They turned our entire base into lava. And yeah, they lava casted it, and yeah, it wasn't a great situation. And then this next session, we started off back at the table that we had made. We had upgraded it a little bit with some glass and stuff, but it was our little alliance table because we were the last 4 yellows. And so while we were out and about, just out in the snow, we were hanging out with May and Neptune because we were allies with them technically. And also Siege and May had like some sword swap thing where they accidentally swapped swords. And so as I was just walking out of there, I think Scan Haraga had appeared somewhere, and so I was like, oh yeah, we're just running, yeah. And I told Apples, yeah, let's just run. And then I slowly realized Apples is taking a lot of damage. I think that they're fighting on the top of the mountain, so you know what I do? I start panicking because I'm like, oh, it's gonna take me too long to get up to the top of the mountain. And you can see that I was just trying to eat and eat and eat and get up to the top of the mountain because that's where I thought Apples was. But yeah, as you can tell, I was taking quite a lot of damage. And I will admit, I survived for a full minute with us just consistently taking damage, basically. But I told Apples to run. I told Maggie, I'm out, I'm gonna die. And then Maggie said, no, you're not, but it was already a little bit too late. I tried to do the head hitter, but yeah, it was too late. Sket had taken us out. And you know who needed to go next? Sket. They had eliminated too many people from the series. Me and Apples both immediately agreed before the session, or as the session even began, that Sket and Haraga needed to go next. Nothing against them. They just killed a lot of red names, and we were scared of them. Met up at the place where we had died, Celeste and Antune's base, and me and Apples both got our red skins on and ready. I got my red skin and Apples got his red skin, and we were ready to start causing some chaos. So very early in the session, or about maybe halfway, me and Apples decided to drop a TNT minecart outside of Sket and Haraga's base, just because, you know, they had killed us, equal revenge. And then I tried to blow up part of the roof and it blew up 2 blocks. Yeah, not my greatest moment, but you know, I'll take it. I did something. And then as we were coming back over to our base, we saw this. 4 red names just hanging out underneath our base and just staring at us. And so they had shot an arrow at us, so I shot an arrow back at them. And then, so Celeste said hi. And then they were saying hi to us. And so me and Apples were kind of focused on other stuff, and then Celeste said everybody responded except for the people that I wanted to, and I was like, yeah, no, we didn't respond. We were too busy like focusing on like actually living. But as I was trying to get out this hole because I was checking spawn for something, Sket and Haraga had died and hit the ground too hard. We had come over to Sket and Haraga's space, and little did we know this would be our last time here on this part of the server. So while the house was burning down, I I'd gone and made some TNT minecarts a little bit more, just so I would be ready for any fight that comes next. And you know, we were all chilling. We were hanging out with Siege and Maggie because they had come over to us to come and check out the damage as well. But we were just hanging out. We were just chilling. Yeah, so I was just chilling out, hanging out, and then I saw that Apples had dropped the TNT minecart on Siege, and I jumped back in shock, and then I'd realized, oh crap, we need to fight this. And so then I start fighting Siege while Apples is fighting Maggie, and I got a couple of good hits in, but overall it was over. And that's the way how my story ended. Apples had chosen the wrong fight with Maggie and Siege. I thought that they were gonna be our allies and our friends till the very end, but you know, sometimes that's the way how life goes. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. A lot of time and effort was put into these episodes. And yeah, if you guys want to see more things like this, then do subscribe, because I'm not gonna say exactly when I'm gonna be uploading the episodes. Last Life, or Last Chance Season 2 is happening, and I am super excited to show you guys what is going to happen.